Hello everybody, today I will be talking about applications of 5G in infrastructure. I'm sure everyone drives, as such many will have faced traffic related problems such as high road congestions. High road congestions are caused by total number of vehicles increase in the past few years. Moreover, with this increased number of vehicles on the road, this will also increase the traveling time for drivers. Based on statistics, Malaysians on average face an increase of 56% in traffic intensity every morning, and a staggering 80% increase in traffic in the evenings. Based on these numbers, drivers find themselves having to spend an extra 41 minutes on the road. This can be perplexing to a driver, especially when he or she has to go through it every day. Furthermore, with this increased number of vehicles on the road, there will be an increase on accident rates as well, because we human beings can make split-second decisions to avoid accident when there is so many cars on the road together with us. However, there exists a solution to perpetually decrease those issues above. That is the usage of 5G in traffic infrastructure. Now, what is 5G? 5G is the next generation wireless telecommunications standard. It is a whole new network system that can achieve much higher speeds with a much lower latency. It uses high frequencies that can transmit huge amounts of data. The 5G beamforming can focus on high data traffic and not just omnidirectional like LTE. However, it has its downside, that is, 5G has shorter wavelength, which means signal degradation will happen. Therefore, 5G is required to use signal boosters. Before we head down further, let's have a brief history of the wireless communication standards. The first G is being developed in the 1980s. By that time, 1G only have voice signals. That is not until 1991 where our data can finally be transferred through wireless medium, but at a slow rate. Plus, it is expensive at that time. Only up until 2001, 3G is developed, which allows transferring of data plus cheaper costs, but still it is not as fast as 4G, which is developed in 2009. And up until then, we are still using 4G. So, how does 5G differ from 4G? 5G uses a new architecture compared to 4G, and 5G is going to be way faster compared to 4G. You ask why? Because 5G is going to have multiple gigabit speed compared to 4G, plus it has lower latency where the latency is reduced to as low as 1 millisecond to allow real-time data transfer. Moreover, 5G beam can focus on high data traffic and not just omnidirectional LTE, and 5G is interconnected with all the IoT devices. Now, how does 5G can improve traffic problems? By the time 5G is implemented, all vehicles are forecasted to be smart vehicles. In other words, they are driverless vehicles. These smart transportation vehicles can directly communicate with each other, which is known as V2V or vehicle to vehicle. These communication will allow vehicles to collect real-time data to make split-second decisions, which can provide critical seconds of reaction time to avoid a potential accident. Furthermore, vehicles can communicate with the infrastructure as well, that is known as vehicle-to-infrastructure. Through this, we can exchange real-time information between vehicles to analyze the real-time traffic situations in order to adjust and allow the traffic to flow better. After we have shown how the 5G can be used to improve traffic problems, we now show you our solution on how the device can communicate with the host and the receiver. First, the traffic will emit a signal constantly, which allows smart vehicles' data to be gathered in real time. Next, data will be collected through smart vehicles, then bounced downwards to other vehicles until it reaches n numbers of vehicles that represents the congestion. Then, the data will bounce upwards in order to pass it to the traffic light. By using this obtained real-time data, the congestion level can be reduced with the help of certain algorithm. But what type of protocol we should be using in order to achieve 5G? Based on our theory, the suitable protocol is TCP. TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. We use TCP is because it is more reliable as it contains of congestion control. It delays transmission when the network is congested. Plus, in the near future, the number of smart vehicles will increase, which can cause high congestion level in network. Hence, by implementing TCP in 5G network, it will allow data communication to be more reliable and faster. This can be achieved because 5G has higher speeds and lower latency. In addition to that, TCP also gives delivery acknowledgement, where the receiver will acknowledge that it got that data. Therefore, data obtained will be more accurate when the vehicles communicate with each other or the infrastructure. Plus, TCP is connection-oriented, where it requires handshaking between two devices before communicating. Hence, this will ensure there is an established connection before packets are being transferred. This is an overview of how the data is being transmitted between the host and receiver. First, the traffic will emit a signal constantly, which allows smart vehicles to collect data from the nearby vehicles in real time until it reaches n number of vehicles in order to find the congestion level or state. For example, let's say n is 100 vehicles, or 2 km, that to indicate the max number of vehicles being congested on the road. When this number of data is being collected from the n, the data will then bounce back upwards to the nearest neighboring vehicles until it reaches back to the traffic where the signal is being calculated in real time and collected. It will implement the use of an algorithm that allows to let the current traffic to flow better. By implementing 5G in a traffic infrastructure, it can help in an emergency medical situation. Due to the traffic being delivered to each traffic light at real time, if it detects an ambulance on its way to the traffic light, it will automatically clear a pathway for the ambulance to make sure it reaches the nearest hospital to allow the patients to receive help faster compared to current situations of traffic where patients may have died on their way to the hospital. In conclusion, implementing 5G in traffic infrastructures brings a lot of benefits to traveling. This can be achieved because 5G has higher speed and low latency, and matching with TCP protocol, it can achieve high speed and being secure as well as error-free. With the current architecture, the traffic light can process data very fast. This applies the same for vehicles too. If it detects any unusual behavior between vehicles, the appropriate actions can be taken immediately. With all these implementations, it can help to control congestion level, reduce the accident rate tremendously, and reduce traveling time. This is because the traffic light will respond according to the current traffic condition. Thank you very much. That is the end.